Hey guys, it's me, Duff1 here with Airsoft Talk, and I hope I got that in right, but I'm going to post this on Facebook so people could come watch. Copy, paste, that doesn't seem right. Let's go here, it's on my mind. Come watch fun stuff. That's stud. Enter. Alrighty. Alright, so for the people who are going to join in later about this, or like during mid, I don't know if it's going to be more of a rant or just an informational thing. What's up, first viewer? Welcome to the potty. Be talking about Lancer Tactical as a company. So from my understanding, Lancer Tactical is a pretty fair company. They're pretty good. They make good stuff. I like them. But I've heard some things about them as a company that I'm not sure where I stand on. It doesn't make me not want to buy their products. It just makes me go, why? And by no means am I saying don't buy their products. I enjoy their products. I promote them all the time here at the shop. But there's just some things I'm like, I want to talk about Lancer Tactical. All right? So for all the AK purists out there, I understand this isn't the AK you want, but when it comes to doing some tactical stuff, people kind of prefer some rounds and a stock that does this and is a more untraditional style of gun, which I'm okay with. I don't mind these. How's it going? Talking about Lancer Tactical. So this is a Lancer Tactical AK. Now it may be a budget line and an entry level, and there's parts on here which I find is funny is the body's plastic, but when you show it on the trunnion on the other side, it's metal and this is metal. So like part of this is a good entry level AK. I'm doing great. I will sit here and say the build quality for this is actually pretty decent. Nothing feels cheap. There's no wobbles. Everything is where it should be. So, but as Lancer Tactical is as a company, I don't understand. Anyways, so this is their AK, I don't know, Magpul thing. I don't know. But one of the things I do like about Lancer Tactical guns is that they come with a quick spring change. And when I mean a quick spring change, I mean literally it's a quick spring change. It's not like a Krytac, which I actually got my hands on. I got to mess with a Krytac M4. But the things I really want to touch up on about Lancer Tactical is that they've been buying out a lot of clone companies from what I've heard and from my understanding. I could have heard wrong, but like I've noticed stuff like off of major retailer websites like Evike, Airsoft GI, like batteries don't come with guns anymore. I honestly do not understand why that is until I heard that Lancer Tactical went over there and bought out all these companies. And I guess it was because they were hurting Lancer Tactical's business, which, I mean, it's so few and far between because I don't understand. You're competing with SEMA and JG and all these other companies, and you're trying to buy out your competition, which I understand that, but like people who buy JGs and SEMAs are people like me and people who are getting into the sport, and I get that you want to capitalize on that market. But I just don't think it's a great idea to buy out all these other companies and then upcharge just because you have quality control. Like, it doesn't seem okay to me. But as far as Lancer Tactical is a company, I actually like some of their products. Oh, hey, it's Nate Dogg. I saw, dude. Talk about how Lancer Tactical is buying all these clone companies so they can upcharge for a quality control fee. And I mean, I will sit here and tell you, I think that's good at the same time, but terrible. I personally like Lancer Tactical. I'll say it again because of everything that you get with it. And you get a US-based warranty, which is good. And it makes technicians' lives easier because typically we're just going to call them and be like, hey, this broke, send us a part. So instead of you having to ship it off, the retailer can fight and be like, hey, can you just spot us this? Which is a good thing. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of buyout of like mass company buyouts because to me, you control too much of the market. And when that happens, you really, as far as I feel that there's a huge disconnect from the customer base and what actual customers want from the company. And that's where my problem lies, because if you want to get a good example of that, look at YouTube. So this is their, I don't even know what to call this. All I know is for I believe this is $140, something like that. You have the ambidextrous slide. That's kind of nice. So when you're adjusting your hop up, you can one-hand it like this, as opposed to going awkwardly, holding it against you. To me, this feels more secure because you can hold the gun, move your hop up and stuff. So that's a really big bonus to me. And the fact that Lancer Tactical comes with type bores, they come with a full metal rack piston, a decent piston head, okay motor at best. I'm not a fan of their motors. I mean, if it was a JG or a SEMA, it'd be torqued for days, which I prefer because you get a ton of torque, good trigger response, and really inefficient on power. I could go through your battery real quick. That's one thing I've noticed about the JG motors. They're power monsters. So they demand power, which is fine. I mean, I never minded that. I don't think anyone else did. But as far as Lancer Tactical goes, like, I'm kind of not okay because I heard they bought out SHS. I'm like, why are you buying out all these companies? Like, I get that you might want to be the sole importer, but like, why don't you go for that as opposed to manufacturing? Like, I guess it's to keep them better protected during the Chinese New Year, because I know that most clone companies like completely shut down and then move because it's illegal to manufacture anything in China that's airsoft related. Because I remember when that happened one year and we didn't get any clones, no JGs, no SEMAs, AGM, A&K, Double Eagle, like just everything. D-Boys, like couldn't get it because everything was gone. So like there was that, and I guess that might be why they're there, is to protect them and their interests. But even then, that's kind of breaking the law. So it makes me question, like, what is Lancer Tactical really about? Like, what is their purpose for buying out all these companies? Like, I understand you want to control your share in the market, but that just seems a little obsessive. I mean, I don't know, but that's just me. I mean, the intentions aren't very clear to me, so it makes me just go, By no means am I saying they're terrible. I would just rather know what a company's up to versus them not, just kind of being like, yeah, we're just buying out all these companies. I guess you can increase your product line, because I remember when Lancer Tactical first came out, they had like an AK and like 4 M4s, and now they have like everything, which is nice. I mean, I can understand that, but overall their AK is not bad. I know it's been tacticooled and it's been destroyed as an AK, but I don't mind it. Like, if I could sell this over an M4, God, I'll be happy. Like, I literally go, someone's like, oh, I'm looking at getting an AEG, and I'm like, oh, here. Like, yeah, this. Buy it. Don't get an M4. So tired of seeing them. It's not just because I'm not a fan of M4s. It's just I would like to see something different, like on the field. So I'm going to take some questions from the 6 people that are awesome in here, now 5. Put a question down in the chat, and I shall answer it. I actually do like how they actually have the magwells in these. It is pretty nice. This thing would be ridiculous if it was electric blowback. Probably break immediately. If you just joined us, question me. Leave me a question in the chat. I wonder if there's a time delay from what I'm saying. I also don't understand why they put the battery. That's one thing I was really like. The battery's up here, not in here, and there's plenty of room to put it back here. There's plenty of room for the wire. Any bad experience with players as a ref? I mean, you always get cheaters. There was mainly arguments. Like that's the biggest one. And that's now like a rule. There's no arguing allowed. Like, if you have an issue, you have to come to the ref. I don't give any warnings. You start pointing people out going, call your hit, call your hit. Like, I'll kick you off the field. Because the moment you start arguing, it looks bad on us as a company. And it makes a bad environment for everybody else. So I have zero tolerance for that. There was one time, like, I had someone, I witnessed this. Some dude got unloaded on. And I was like, how did he not get hit? And, like, so I followed him the next game to ensure he was calling his hits. And I had a riot shield. And I was getting hit with ricochets from him, like, off of him. So I have a ref gun. And now I turned, and I popped him. And then he called his hit. I mean, that's the extent of it. My favorite AK variant. Let's see here. Probably if I was using it to play, probably like the AKS-74U or the RPK. Because the RPK is really one of the better purpose-built machine guns that I prefer to use because the mags are not terrible. The gearbox isn't the greatest for support setups. Like, if I was going to do a support setup, I'd really prefer a saw gearbox, but then I run into box feeding issues. So there's that. But I really like the RPK and the little AK-74s with the side folding AKS-74Us. Those are my preferable go-tos. I mean, what is it? I have a Lancer Tactical like AK pistol that I made. Let me go grab that. So I took the side folding stock off. Put you right here, Mr. AK. Stay. So I took the side folder off and left it in the back. So it's extremely light. Like, I mean, it's literally, it weighs maybe 6 ounces more than this. So I want to make a Kydex holster for it for giggles. And I'm going to have it engraved. And it's going to say Justice Jr. on the side, which is a reference for a ref gun. And then it's going to go, I'm going to have engraved on the side right here where semi-auto is. It's just going to say Justice. So, okay, how is it working for an airsoft store? Also thoughts on the E4 CMP Elite. I mean, it's great working for an airsoft store, especially when you're respected. I mean, that was one of the best things about working here is that my boss was like, you actually know a lot, so I'm going to put you in a position where you're actually going to be useful. So I got promoted fairly quick. Like I'm at the store right now. He gave me keys to the store so I could film when no one was here. So it's actually really nice. We have a very loyal customer base. So I actually hang out with some of our customers outside of work. So that's kind of fun. So there's that. I haven't had any experience on it. So the Elite Force UMP Elite. Let's copy that. Let's paste it onto this. Let's take a look at the UMP. Typically, they're garbage. If you want my honest advice, ooh, that's a wonky looking gearbox. That is a really weird looking gearbox. I like how they heat. So I'm looking at a picture of the gearbox for it, and they put heat shrink around the motor and motor cage because that's definitely not gonna melt. It's like, hey, check out my new gun. It smells like burning plastic. Quote of the stream. You want my honest opinion? I remember back when these things were out. If this is made by Smart Team, which most likely is, or Aries, I would stay as far away from this thing as possible. Just on the sheer fact that it is. Well, yeah, I'm pretty positive it's made by them. They have a really, 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 really stupid setup. If it's the same ones as some of the other customers have had from them, they have this like weird magnet thing that trips the MOSFET in the gearbox. And so if you strip your gear set, you have to use their gear set, and you can't take the magnet off and put it on another gear set to try and get it to trip, from my understanding. So basically, you completely rewire the gun, bypass the MOSFET in order to do that, if it'll take parts. Because every time I've worked on an Aries, I could not get it to take parts to save my life. So I personally would say don't. Are 9-tooth DSGs just used for slower rate of fire? I could see them being used for a higher FPS setup. So, I mean, you are probably going to get a lower rate of fire because of that, but you're going to get more feet per second. But you're still going to have an obnoxiously, high rate of fire. But you're also putting less stress on the gearbox, so it's kind of like a trade-off. So the 8-tooth, lower FPS, and I know 1 tooth isn't a big difference. It may not seem like it, but it's a massive difference when you account for everything else that's in play with the gun, the stresses, the cycle, and all that. So, but yeah, I took this off, and now it's just a little like literally it's super quick to move around, so I really like this. I would really, 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 this is something I might do, and I've talked about this for so long, is to make a bullpup AK. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out a bullpup stock, and I'm going to move the trigger electrically to here, so I can have literally a gun that's like this big with a decent sized barrel. So if I was playing CQB, it's real nice to come around a corner. Unfortunately, it has to be semi-automatic because everyone likes to complain that stuff hurts when you willingly sign up to play Airsoft, which is stupid. By the way, everyone, if you're listening, please like the live stream. Helps me out. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. But there are a lot of projects that I've said I was going to do in the past that I can now do because I have access to a 3D printer. So, for instance, this is our first rough prototype for a Tri-Shot M4 magazine adapter. So instead of using the Tri-Shot shells, you can use one of these, which is good. The only problem was it really wobbled a lot, and you had to really like hit it up into the gun. And this is like really rough for a 3D print. You know, just working with what I got. We need to get a bigger 3D printer to print the boot that's going to slide over this, and that'll be interesting. I would really, really thoroughly enjoy having a bullpup AK. I thought about doing it to my AMD 65 because it already has that little like trigger or that pistol grip up at the front. But I know that if I don't have a trigger guard, I can't play with it, which is I don't understand. I mean, I do, but I don't, because if the gun has a safety on it, why does a trigger guard matter? Like, I never, ever thought about that. Like, why that? Have you ever tried the TM recoil shots? No, I have not, because it just seems like it's just going to make a gun break faster. By the excuse me. By the way, I uploaded. Excuse me. Let's see if I can pause this. Oh God. Copy. I actually posted a video, so I'm gonna post on my Facebook about an M4 that I actually liked or have respect for. I'll share that on Facebook, and I'll probably put a link in here for you guys. Paste. I did a review, not necessarily a review, but my thoughts on the G&G combat machines, which we've used for rental guns for like a year and have had very little issues. Aside from motors, the little thing that you connect your wire onto, those have broke. I don't know why, but they do. But they broke after like 9 months of abuse. And then the trigger spring for semi-auto wore out and enlarged. So there was a previous tech video of me doing that, of fixing that. Those enlarge over time, and I had to like bend a spring down and repair that. And other than that, that was like my only complaint with that. Other than that, they flipped the gearbox screws are like on the other side. It's just weird. Just go watch the video. I mean, I complained about it in one of the streams. I was like, why would you do this? It was just absolutely stupid. So there was that. What else? Any other questions? Have you ever handled an E&L AK? So, what are your thoughts? I did handle their first generation models a couple of years ago. I went with my buddies to an airsoft store when I was like, oh, there's an airsoft store in Houston. I was like, I'll go check it out, even though I wasn't playing at the time. And they had an E&L AK, and they were very on par with VFC, if not a little better, because they actually blued the receivers. So the coating on them is actually really nice, and I'm surprised they're selling them for the price that they are when they have an actual blued receiver. That may have just been the first ones, but they're absolutely superb. I mean, internally, I don't know. I never got to mess with one internally, but I really prefer my VFCs and LCT designs because their gearboxes have been known to be extremely part friendly. So I would definitely recommend buying one. Like I would say, if you're thinking about it, do it. Like, I'm going to get one eventually. But one of my bosses is like, hey, you're an AK guy, and I really want one of these. Is it worth it? And I'm like, yeah. Like, from what I held, yeah, I would buy one. But the time of having good, like, cheap, like, full steel AKs, for whatever the reason, has disappeared. Like, the RK WS series from D-Boys is gone, from my understanding. Did you down your no, not at all. I have so much crap. I'm selling the 240 just because I have no interest in using it. I still have everything. I tried selling it to this place, Techstar, and then they ended up offering me a job. I was like, okay. So that's how I ended up getting a job here, was trying to sell them everything. Then I was like, you know what? I'll come back to sports, see how it is. And then HPA is available, and I was like, this is just cancer. I can't stand HPA. It is literally the most game-breaking garbage that, like, I have no problem. If you want to buy an HPA gun, go buy an HPA gun, but only play against HPA users or use it for a sniping setup, because it's such a pain to get that trigger response that you want on a high torque setup, because you're literally, it's a high torque deal, like getting the power and all that. Now you have like Titan MOSFETs, which really help. But even then, I wouldn't want to do a high torque setup on a V2. You could do a V3, but how long have you worked at the store? I started the first, I think it was like late June, early July. So yeah, it'll be 6 months. Not even 6 months. It's been like 5 months, and we've already, like, since I started, we used to have like not very much, and now we've like tripled our inventory. We used to be at a location that didn't get a lot of foot traffic. Now we're at a location where there's I think it's like 300,000 cars a day pass by. So like our foot traffic dramatically like went up. I mean, we're located in Houston, Texas, off of Westheimer and Barry Ashford. Actually, I'm gonna put a link. Tech Star. Copy. Everyone. I'm not in charge of the Instagram. The pictures you see are of our old location. Some of them are new. Let's see here. All right, let me find their website again. Come on. Google's so anti-gun, they won't post any of our stuff on the Google search anymore. Yes, I have tried Milsim event. Hey, Kevin. Hey, I'm glad I got you into AKs. Always a good thing. I highly doubt that LiPo is charged. Otherwise, I'd show you the custom. Actually, I'm a port. So, when I started working here, there should be a hollow magazine somewhere. So, if you guys remember this is the AK Beta Spets I got a long time ago, and I did a few upgrades to it. Let me try and find this battery, because there it is. I have no idea how much of a charge is on this battery. It's an 11120C, 1900 milliamp. It's like some Kong Power from back in the day. So what I did is I said, hey, look, I know I've made a bunch of outrageous claims. I'm going to build a gun with parts that I have laying around at the house. So I took a D-Boys gearbox shell, took out the SRC Gen 1, which were terrible. What I need to do is figure out why all this crap is so wobbly. But anyways, so what I did is I ground out the receiver. I put in a SHS high torque motor, 13-to-1 gears, SHS piston, D-Voice piston heads because they're light, 7mm bushings from SHS, shimmed. That's about it. It put in a ball bearing spring guide and an M90 spring. So this dangerous LiPo that's puffed up. So I built this, and keep in mind I hadn't built a gun in, God, forever. So I built this after, you know, being out of the game for so long. So I built it for like semi-auto. And I just, you know, it's on full auto. I disabled it because if I was to play and I got a little mad, I know myself, I get too frustrated. Someone's not calling their hits. I'm like, oh, I just want to go full auto. So I have it set to where, keep in mind, this is just on budget parts. Like, I didn't go out of my way. Oh, yeah, this battery's dead. So dead. Oh, God, that's terrible. Just, ugh. I'm gonna put this bad boy on the charger. It hasn't been used that much. And oh, I'm so nervous about charging this thing. But anyways, I built this. It took me like a week just from, you know, not coming back. I also dremeled out the gearbox so I could see where the pinion gear engages the gears. So this is a relic from the past. The manufacture date on this gun is 2006. It has been discontinued for God some time now. So I don't think you'll ever see one of these again from SRC. I really liked it because I put this on here, just sound amplifier. So it's a cool gun. I'm probably going to make a video on it. This would be like a blast from the past. So I've thought about putting a side folder on here and then like just wiring the battery to a pouch. But God, some people just absolutely cannot do that. Like, they just like, no, it looks terrible. I'm like, dude, who cares? So there's that. Demonetized. I've had a couple from the past right before I got out, and I didn't have any problems with them. I just disabled the blowback. I personally liked them. They came with good internals for what they were. I liked how they were designed. I have no complaints, other than the fact that I just immediately disabled the blowback. And guys, if you aren't already, put this link in here. If you aren't already, please subscribe, or not subscribe. Wait, what? Please go add me on Bookface so you can keep your updates. Kane Davis. What was your retracted message? Wait, can I edit your message? I can add I can add people as a moderator? That's insane. I had no idea. Tube view has changed so much. The stock pouch for the rifle dynamics allows the battery into a triangle stock. Go unnoticed and look good. Hey, link me that if you don't mind. Oh, you did the same thing with your bow bag? You just went like, oh, that's cool, disabled. Like that's exactly what I did with mine. I was like, oh, that's nifty. Goodbye. Like, I mean, but they set it up to where, there we go. Wait, this is adjustable? Oh. So it locks into place right there. Oh, that's amazing. I did not know my chair did this. So here's it, unlocked all the way. Okay, cool. But yeah, Julian, if you could link me that, that'd be dope. And I hope you're drinking some rum and coke. How's it going, guys? Hopefully I'll get that reference. I grew up watching that show. It was such a good show. Until Netflix bought him out, and it was all weird, and then Jim Leahy died. It was unfortunate. And also, guys, seriously, if I will take any help I can get, any recommendations in order to, help myself get more views. If you have any recommendations, keep in mind Airsoft Talk is a little low on the level of editing. So there's that. These batteries are now dead as hell, which I crafted up this little nifty device to help me discharge batteries. So in here, probably make a video. So in here, you see these are server fans. These draw 1.88 amps per hour. So there are 6 of them. This is a 2,000 milliamp battery. And since I don't have a fan in my workspace, I use these all the time. Ah! But yeah, this fan is powerful. It helps blow BBs off the floor. By the way, if you haven't already, go subscribe to PewDiePie. Let's help him win the war. The war on turf. All right, it seems they took the listing down from the main store, but here's a link that has pictures. All righty, thank you, Julian. It's a true team player there. Ooh. Like how they're like, make your AK work on their website. Of course, they naturally have to build one in gold, because why not? There's an airsoft reproduction. Would you look at that? My battery is done charging. These suckers are all about to be done. Like, if y'all want, here, I'll show y'all something cool. So I have like all these, like, sorry, excuse my shaky ass hands. That's a big mega ultra charger. Then I have a single variant of it there. If you're a serious airsofter, I really recommend picking one of these up, because it really, really, really makes a difference. What battery went where? So next to that. Yeah. Literally all these suckers are about to be done. Put you on there. Sorry, gentlemen, give me a moment. For the 3 people that are here, y'all are all truly amazing. What message is being held for review? Cancel. Potentially inappropriate, got it. So, well, guys, I think I'm going to end the stream from here. Go check out my personal thoughts on the G&G Combat Machine. I will post a link right here. Sure. Wow, your thing that said your pictures, Julian. Wow. Of course, add me on Facebook. That's what it's there for. I'm a regular. I'll even friggin' post it in the thing. Like, I want you guys to add me on Facebook. Like, that's what I'm there for. I'm not some dude that just sits behind a camera and just is like, well, whatever. I'm not gonna acknowledge my fans. No. Like, y'all are what has made me who I am and where I've been able to get to today. So I couldn't be here without you guys. So no, add me on Facebook. I love hearing from you guys. So, alrighty. It's been awesome, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.